even mowing the parks, so I hope, I see Tim is maybe trying to hire some more people. I didn't think it'd look good out there, we're spending $200,000, we can't even keep them mowed, so that's just my concern.
I will tell you, Gary, I've been out there quite a bit because we're working on the pollinator stuff. And this year, and I can't speak for past years, for this year, Henderson has been mowed several times.
I know earlier
Both above and below. I mean, it's looking pretty good this year. Obviously, the weather's burning everything out now, but actually, I was a little frustrated because I was trying to spray down an area that got mowed. I was hoping it was going to get a little taller for the herbicide to work. But I do know at Henderson, it's been well kept so far this summer, and I'm really surprised. For those of you who don't know the amount of traffic we have at our county parks.
I know Henderson's busy.
It's constant at Henderson, and it's canoers, kayakers, people fishing, people picnicking, it's all sorts of stuff, so. Okay, so we have motion, support, we have discussion, anything else on item number 6? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, let's go back to call to the public. Anyone wishing to speak?
Gene Roos, Woodbury Township. Last month you guys voted unanimously to pass the new wind ordinance. We all like that. But because of the chance of referendum, we'd really like to see you extend the moratorium to match the end of the referendum opportunities so that they can't slip in right now. Because right now, the old ordinance is in effect, not the new one, until the referendum is settled, whether it be lack of signatures or voted in the election. If you were to put a moratorium on, that would stop somebody from coming out right now and applying it based on the old ordinance, which we all agreed was unprotectable.
Mr. Chairman, we didn't have a previous wind ordinance.
Yeah, we did.
No, you're talking about one that had 500 feet and so forth?
The one that said 600 foot, 1,200 foot from your red line?
That was never passed, by the way.
Yeah, that's no, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's null and void since you got the new one, or?
I don't think they passed that one.
If,
The board didn't pass that.
right,
No, but that was that not, what was our old ordinance?
did not have an ordinance.
We never had a previous one prior
Oh, we
to
had
that.
an ordinance.
Yeah, we did.
We did have a wind ordinance.
Yes.
Really?
Since 2010.
Yep.
And it was
So
600 feet?
I would suggest we did not repeal necessarily, well, it was repealed, and it wasn't repealed, it was replaced essentially with a new ordinance. What's existing when a referendum, I would suggest you speak with legal counsel regarding that.
Hasn't there already been a referendum?
Well, there's,
The
can you
law
go
requires
through
that the law that they're on is not enforced until it either is passed, until either not enough signatures are created, or if enough signatures are obtained, then it's on hold until the vote.
And we're asking for protection, if you extend the moratorium or reenact it because it went out July 1st, nobody could apply for it based on the old ordinance until the referendum is settled. We're not asking for 5 years or 3 years, we're asking until we know the answer to the referendum, because if you guys believe that was for our best interest, and for the new one, for provisions of Part 4, right now they could go against the old one and sign up right now, and then we're dead in the water there. We're not protecting anything. So as a group of regulated wind, that's what we're concerned
Okay,
with.
so do we need to, if that's the case,
Chairman,
yes,
may I?
yes.
Chairman Bartz, the county clerk has notified this office, and this will take a minute, but this may clarify. The county clerk has notified this office that a registered elector in Hazelton Township has given notice of intent to file a referendum petition regarding the county's recent adoption of zoning ordinance amendments pertaining to wind energy conservation systems. The notice of intent letter is dated June 25th, 2018, which is within 7 days after publication of notice of adoption of the ordinance amendments on June 24th, 2018, as required by MCL. The elector now has 30 days from the date of publication in which to file petitions for the referendum on or before July 24th, 2018. The petitions must be signed by not less than 15% of the total vote cast in the zoning jurisdiction that voted for governor in the last preceding general election in which a governor was elected. As a consequence to the timely file notice of intent, the zoning ordinance amendments do not take effect until 30 days after publication if no petition is filed, or if a petition is filed within 30 days and the clerk determines that the petition is inadequate. If a petition is filed within 30 days, clerk determines that it is inadequate, then upon voter approval. And I'm getting to if an inadequate petition is timely filed, the Board of Commissioners must take action to place the referendum on the ballot. It is the interim, the formal provision of the zoning ordinance before they were amended on June 14, 2018 remain in effect.
That's what I was saying.
Right, and that's what our attorney said too.
In other agenda items, I'm going to make the motion to extend the moratorium.
So that's from our council attorney, letter they sent to probably me and Mike and maybe you, Pete, so, with that being said and all that, and there's more here to be read, but, would it be in the best interest of us to do that?
No,
They already filed.
yeah, did I hear it wrong? Did it say if it's filed within 7 days, we have to have 30 days before any amendments or changes to ordinance actually go into effect? And if somebody petitions, then our hands are tied.
Yeah.
Not until the
Is that what
petitions are
it's-
turned into verified.
You wanna try to read it?
Yeah, I was trying to,
I've read it a couple times, Jeremy. I mean, and we paid our lawyer, I mean, you gotta read for yourself, but.
You don't pay as much as we do.
The old one is in effect right now, because the new one didn't take effect. It takes effect 7 days after posting if there isn't a filed referendum. If there's a filed referendum, it goes back to the old ordinance until referendum is settled. In layman's terms, that's what it said.
our moratorium's expired.
I personally don't, I feel like we should do it anyways.
I think that's what it is.
Somebody filed already?
What's that, Jeff?
I think we should do this just to protect ourselves.
We'll do that under other agenda items.
Because we'd be contradicting ourselves
Right, no,
in our decision if we
right,
weren't to do this.
right.
I'm sorry, did you ask?
So I guess the question is, we'll talk about when we get to number 8, so. Anything else on public? Okay, Pete, community development monthly reports, Pete Preston.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 28 building permits, 31 zoning permits, and 43 enforcement actions. As you know, we stay around 40 with enforcement actions. Actually, it appears we've had 8 new homes permitted in the month of June, so we're hopping. Our office is also dealing with a rather large FOIA request that we're attempting to process.
So I've heard. Okay, any questions for Mr. Preston? Okay, thank you. Next.
Mechanical.
I was gonna get with Casey, but she was busy in here with you to see if we received any more. To my knowledge, not very many. And the reason for that is that labor costs, from what our understanding, are up 50 to 65% in the industry. As I just mentioned, 8 new homes. Anybody that wanted to get in the plumbing and mechanical inspection can make a heck of a lot more money out there doing new builds right now.
Another question for Pete. The county taking over assessing for counties, a state movement, what do you know about that? And why is that being pushed on us?
I don't know why it's being pushed right now, or what the reason, the rationale is for moving it. It would essentially say that assessors would have to be a level 3 or level 4 and have approximately 5,000 parcels underneath their belt to make a region. Or else the county could take it over and essentially take the administration fee, which is 1% of taxes collected, from the townships to pay for that service. From what I understand is that it is that wouldn't cover the cost of what it would take to have. The way the law is written right now, there'd be 4 different directors. You'd have a director of assessing, you'd have a director of agricultural appraisals, a director of commercial industrial, and then you'd have to have the staff underneath those people to work. I'm hoping that the legislature will do a cost analysis of that, and the counties right now, your MAC, your Michigan Association of Equalization Directors, Michigan Association of Assessors are also saying, whoa, pump the brakes a little bit, because this could one, take a lot of local control away from the townships, but 2, be essentially legislate you folks to do something that you may not want to do.
Do you know like who the sponsor is and
not on hand.
Henry, you know anything about that? I mean, I don't know if this is like random, somebody dropped a bill. or if this is-
I don't know.
I would add that the Michigan Townships Association has come out and opposed to the bill, as well as, I got a couple of counties that have passed a resolution
I guess.
opposing the bill, official opposing it.
Okay, well, we'll have to look and see who the bill's from. I mean, this could have just be, somebody just dropped a bill because, you know.
Somebody did talk to me about this, I think, and then the treasurer the state treasurer was involved as well. I
Yes,
think.
that's who's behind it.
That's what I'm
State
talking,
treasurer.
yeah, I did hear about this, and it's not coming to me, sorry. I can't.
And again, I don't know the reason, the governor came out in support of it with the press release, but again, nobody's really talking to the locals and what it would cost. If a current township unit does not levy the administration fee, right now to pay for their assessor and their treasurer, this legislation would essentially force them to pay that out to the county. So that's something that the local unit should look at too. That's an imposition from the state legislature telling local unit what they have to pay for, an unfunded mandate essentially.
So could you pass on to our state representative? that we-
I already have, they have spoken about that in Chesaning, the supervisor from
Okay.
Chesaning had expressed some concern about that, and last month or something. And I know, did you say there was a bill?
There is a bill. It was introduced in the House and the Senate. We have no local assessing units here. We only cover the equalization department when it comes to that. There's a 5-year timeline that they're looking to bring this in. There's a number of level 2 assessors out there that would essentially lose their ability to do local assessing because of the requirement for it to be a level 3 or level 4. I'm a level 3, Scott Cunningham is a level 4.
The level 4 assessors are usually the ones in favor of it, not very many of them.
I'm trying to get mine.
Shiawassee Township discussed it out there, and she was gonna be, she said she'd essentially be out of job because she's not there, so. I think it's a burden.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, item number 5. Consider amending the Shiawassee County zoning map for property located in section 15 of Vernon Township, parcel ID number 78-012-46-073-000 and 78-012-46-066-000 from M1 Light Industrial to B2 General Business, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents. Do we have a motion?
Motion,
So motion support, so discussion. And Pete, help me out on this. This came through the planning commission 2 or 3 months ago.
In May, yeah.
Okay, this is the deluxe engraving business that's located kind of at the entrance to the school there in Drain. It's by the bowling alley on one side, and it's got the Jeep Chrysler dealership on the other side. The business is closed. This was originally part of, it's still part of Vernon Township. It's kind of almost an island within the city. This at one time was a lot of a subdivision that had like 100 lots or 150 lots or whatever. Since then, changes have been made, parcels have been combined, zoning has changed. The owner of the Jeep dealership is thinking about purchasing it, not to knock it down, but to actually use it, actually use the building for office space and everything, because they're a little tight in their current facility. There is discussion of them eventually, the Jeep dealership going out by the Graf dealership, but the intent would be that they would still keep this property and their old Jeep dealership property to use as like a used car lot. They have the dealership owners have no interest in buying this unless the zoning's changed. This guy's looking to sell the building now that the business is closed. Like I said, the building isn't gonna be knocked down, it's a pretty sound building. Is there anything else that I need to add? I mean, that's.
Just that this is not the only area where zoning is inconsistent with its current use in that area. And Vernon Township is looking at it, as well as our office. on the possibility of having mass rezoning change in that area. His use just doesn't match what the zoning is.
It's really not gonna give them more leniency anyways, it's
No.
less.
It's actually less restrictive, but does allow more of a retail use for car dealership. Right now, heavy manufacturing would be allowed, but the lot size where it's located, that wouldn't really be feasible.
And it's 2 lots, I believe, and it's a skinny lot that goes back towards the school. But yeah, and like I said, the Wise dealership has expressed interest in it, and that was my first question, was what, to knock it down, make it a parking lot, and they said, no, they wanted to use it for office space, because they're so crammed in the old building. And that would connect their properties, obviously there is some parking around there where they could park some cars also, but, so.
Weren't they ever moving down by Graff?
They are, and that eventually, it's my understanding that's gonna be the new location, and no different than a lot of other dealerships, will become their used car lot then.
I mean, the big car dealership gonna move out?
Just build a new building.
Oh,
Yeah.
Moving out by Graff on the corner there.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, so this is a case where, I'm not saying necessarily we pass this, the Wise dealership is gonna buy it from this gentleman, but, it would allow possibility for some economic development, whether it's the car dealership or somebody else, because chances are, if not, the building's just gonna sit there. So, so we have a motion, support, discussion, any questions? Am I missing? I mean, that's pretty much, I'm surprised that, maybe the gentleman will be here on Wednesday or Thursday, because I talked to him at the planning commission, so. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. So we're on 6, so now we go down to 7. Approve moving forward with a proposed ordinance permitting and regulating the operation of certain off-road vehicles, ORVs, on most county roads of Shiawassee County pursuant to section 324.81131 of the Michigan compiled laws.
So moved. Second.
So I have motion and support. I'll open it for discussion.
Do we have changes?
This is just moving forward. We'll incorporate some of these changes we wrote in tonight. If there's some others, we'll maybe put them on as possibilities that would be discussed on Wednesday.
Let's move it forward with some of the changes, maybe a list of potential amendments for Wednesday. When do you think could you have that to us, like tomorrow night, you think, or was that?
Yes.
Okay, so that would give you the night and the day to look at it.
I got a couple things, I don't know if this committee's inclined to discuss or not, but what does everybody think about the $20 enforcement sticker?
It's wise.
May I make a comment?
Yes.
The only thing, I appreciate the sheriff's comment. People use their ATVs, some of them trail them up north, and they ride them down here, then they ride them into an adjacent county. If every county starts putting a $20 fee on to come into their county, that could be a problem. Already, you take it up north, gotta have one up there in Gladwin County and another one in West Branch, and then you got, for that matter, cities and villages could all tag on. Each village, each city could tag on if they want to do it.
Well, yeah, that's their prerogative, they can do that anyways, even if we don't.
But nobody is.
But
We don't want to
have
say
to hire-
it goes against the,
We're gonna have to hire another deputy and pay him $50,000, $80,000 a year to keep track of all this? I mean, it could happen, right? Brian?
Well, I don't really know if it's gonna be much change from what I've heard, but if there is problems, if the money's there for enforcement, and it could also be used for education purposes. There's a ORV safety class that has to be put on. I'm assuming that there's going to be a demand for that type of stuff, so we can use some of that money towards that type of thing also.
Bear in mind, they're already getting half of the fees for violations.
Assuming that there is much
Yeah,
violation,
yeah,
and
assuming.
in previous contracts, like they're saying, there may not be a lot of money generated from that, I don't know. And I know there is right off the get-go.
Yeah, I'm not, the sheriff certainly has a point. point, I'm just saying that you get started with this, you could have other counties, cities, and everybody else start doing it. And if they all start doing it, I guess we can start doing it too, but I don't know what you wanna start doing that and put that burden on all
Well, right now Livingston doesn't allow it, neither does Clinton, am I correct?
the,
Genesee doesn't allow it.
Clinton doesn't want
Clinton doesn't
What
allow it.
about Saginaw?
I think Saginaw does, I think we had an ordinance from Saginaw.
Some
Tuscola does.
A good portion of them, they're not gonna be crossing.
No, but people transport teams, they take them up on trails and go up north, and, you know, these counties up north don't add stickers. I'm just pointing that out, that's up to the board.
I mean, you know, this is the thing, you don't want to create a patchwork of local ordinances and laws around the state where you don't know what the rules are every time you cross the county line. Flip side is, we don't charge for our county parks, to drive through our county parks, don't need a permit, other counties you do. You know, here in the county, you don't have to pay to park on the street. Every day I go to Lansing, I'm being hosed to pay to park someplace. So, I don't know. I mean,
$20 would target just the users, so people who don't really want this ordinance, and there seems to be some of them.
Well, we could start out maybe $5 or $10 too.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe $5 fee or something like that, just, you know, shake them. I don't know, I just offered that.
What do you think about Henry? Anybody talk about that? Any state level talk about that, or?
No, again, that'd be a reference point perhaps to see what other counties have drawn in their first, weeks or years implementing something like this, but I would think that gathering that information might be a task in itself.
You could always just draw the sticker out longer than just a year though, too.
Yeah.
You could say, to generate a beginning, you could say, okay, $20 for a 3-year sticker or
Yep.
something. That way you get them the money up front, you still get some coming, but you're not hammering everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay it whatever it is, because I wanna do it.
so that goes my point. If you are gonna say, okay, we have this ordinance, let's go buy this ORV. What's $20 compared to the $20,000 you just spent on the ORV?
Cost me that much to fill the tank up.
Maybe we can let it go for a year and come back in a year, and if the sheriff has got more problems, we'll
Then,
do something
then
there.
you
That
play
might
catch up.
be, that might be something.
You play catch up. then.
Maybe have a whole new board and they want out of
Maybe,
it.
I don't know.
I think you'd be better charging now and then maybe alleviating it down the road if you felt it really wasn't needed, then dropping off. But start with it and then,
I like the idea of multiple year though.
yeah.
I mean, I agree.
It costs you,
You're gonna spend more than that on a tank of gas.
you gotta buy stickers,
Couple
okay, the
patches,
sticker's good for 1 year,
patches,
the same cost for next year for the sticker, if the sticker's good for 3 years, so this has 1 date on the year you bought it, it's good for 3 years or something, that costs, but also you can register, you get an idea who has these, you get an idea how many are going on in the county by that.
Right.
And again, if you can say it puts 200,000 in there after the first year, then you realize we don't need all that.
It's up to
I would say maybe 2 years or something then, because, if the money's, sitting there, I mean,
Would
at
you
least
put
they
that
got
in
something to
contracts
work
too?
with. I don't, right, drag it over 3 years and expect me to
Yeah.
enforce it, I can't guarantee anything.
And you come back in a year and tell me I have to, or I didn't have to, I'm like, what the hell? If you do it right,
I understand.
Yeah, that's why we're bringing it up now, just, I truly believe most people who want this, you can spend $20 at McDonald's. And we have that ability.
I mean, I got a good job, I'm not, $20 a year, I mean, I'm gonna do it.
Cheek's bite everybody's sticker. No, but it's the same argument as, oh, we're gonna raise the price to go across the Mackinac Bridge, and no one's gonna come. No, you're already going, so if it's an extra $1 or $2, okay, you're already going. And what difference does it make after you spent $100 in fuel to get up there? It's the same thing.
Another avenue though that we haven't talked about, if he has a registered list of all the people that have machines, and then George says, well, that guy down there keeps going after 3 or 4 times, he's gonna be able to find out who he is, get his background, get an address or something, you see what I'm saying? He's gonna know, I mean, when I had dirt bikes going up, the cops come by quite often, the sheriff.
Because you were on these dirt bikes, or?
Yeah, yeah. I come home for dinner and Dad say, well, when John was the sheriff,
Uh-huh.
Dad would say, well, John, I don't know where he went last night, when I maybe slipped out of the sight or something, The neighborhood knew where we were, what kids had dirt bikes, who was tearing up, who wasn't tearing up. That might give the county a bigger prospect, because,
You know, $20 is a problem for people if it breaks down to 5 cents a day.
It is what it is.
Come on.
It goes to my argument, if you have,
It's 4 gallons of gasoline or something.
if you
But
have,
when it comes to
if you
recreation,
have the means to own one of these vehicles,
That's not gonna be, and I love it, I go in the wintertime, I go up to Burris Corners, and there's 15 rigs fueling up, and they're idling around, they're not ripping tearing, and I wouldn't mention their names, but they do it all the time, they're not tearing stuff up, everybody knows them, they go through, we wave, they come to my house, they all drive to my driveway, and circle back out, we wave, everybody knows everybody. It's just a good camaraderie, because I don't want a road bike, because there's too many idiots that don't see it hit you. A dirt bike, you know.
you know, and we could give a lot of examples. You could give an example of a hunter that's got $1,000 shotgun, but bitches because the hunting license goes up $1 or $2. And has got dogs and trailers and trucks and all this other stuff.
it could also provide for a place, people talked about not knowing which roads are open and which ways is closed, and those people came in, maybe providing the latest or up-to-date information.
Maybe you have a map that's available at the sheriff's department, or maybe it's, I think we talked about this at one point, a month or two ago, about having it on the county website, or.
That's what I asked for.
Did you guys got that? Yeah.
I can look that up on my phone out on the trail, I can look at on the phone and
That's a
know
good idea.
without having that
Well,
paper
we
in front of me.
already have the website set up, gentlemen, it's our Parks and Recreation website, that'd be the one to add it on to.
Yeah.
Set a map with
We already have it.
Look at it.
Got that anyway.
Okay, so obviously, a lot of things we need to work out still for Wednesday. I'm not gonna do an amendment or anything tonight on the fee, but let's think about this, talk about it. Maybe do some research, find out if any other counties are doing it,
I don't know if anybody does, but I think it's probably a good idea for us.
so.
What are we doing for schedule of fines?
We'll add them on there, they'll be on there. I wanna get with the sheriff on it, but
For multiple offenses and.
yeah, I mean, the other thing will still be there, which says no greater than $500, but some things like, in the motor vehicle code, or at the courts, you'll notice there's a different fine for 1 mile to 5 miles an hour over the speed limit than there is for 6 miles to 10 miles and 11 miles to 15 miles. Otherwise, the fine's the same whether you go 100 or go, well, I'd be reckless, but if the fine's the same for going 15 miles an hour over the speed limit as it is for 5, might as well go 15 for the speed. And the other thing is it does give some plea bargaining.
Right, instead of just having one, somebody coming in and saying, no,
Yeah,
we're
the only
dismissing
choice,
it.
the only choice is to dismiss it.
Right, so now it's all, we'll lower it. What about if you're intoxicated and you're in one of these, where does that fall
You
under?
can still be arrested for drunk driving,
DUI.
just like anything else. Yeah. It's drunk driving.
Snowmobile, motorized vehicle, lawnmower.
That's all under
That's
there.
right.
Almost no difference in theirs. Motivate, you run for road.
Okay, so, we've had motion support, we've had discussion, any other discussion? Are you guys ready to move this forward? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passed, move forward. Next item. 8, other agenda items.
I have to make a motion for Gene Bruce, Woodbury Township.
Okay. Before we do that, just so we have our dates and everything, what are the dates again now of when the signatures have to be in by?
July 24th,
And then we have to decide when to put it on the ballot?
August 14th by 4,
And then that would be on the November,
correct.
and when's that? November?
November 6th.
What's that?
November 6th.
November 6th?
Can't we put it all in one motion?
I know,
To
I'm
be
just
settled?
saying.
I mean, once it's, up to the point, reference, moratorium to, until the referendum is settled.
Which would be November 6th. Well,
Well, if you
No,
wanna
I
get.
know.
Get them signatures, be over that.
I was gonna say, it needs 2,038 signatures,
Balance, balance.
ballots,
They got
okay, and he gets those.
then.
Settled, still it's the
Right, then
same.
it will be-
You know,
No disrespect, but he's got a tough road.
No, but what I'm saying is, even if he
Yeah.
gets the signatures and we have to vote on it, it's still not decided until November.
Correct.
But if he doesn't get the signatures, then it's decided,
It must be
July
set.
25th.
Not less than
See, it's-
15
then the new one will go into effect.
Forecast in the zoning
So why,
jurisdiction.
Pending the
For
referendum.
governor,
Why-
for city general election, in which the governor wasn't elected.
And it was only
The referendum will end on the 25th, he doesn't have the signatures. Or it'll end up the election on November 2nd if it's voted in or out.
But see, that's what we can't add it on the election because there could be recounts and all that other crap. So that's why I'm wondering, do we do it now to December 1st,
Yes.
Yes.
December 15th?
Or until it's otherwise resolved.
Still
Or
settled.
until it's otherwise resolved?
Tell us so.
I'm talking this, before Brandon makes a motion, we amend it 10 gajillion times.
Yeah.
I'm throwing out some different ideas that,
And you need to be specific as to what the
so there's the 24th for the signatures, the 14th for us to vote, put it on the ballot, the 6th is when the election is, which should be decided by, if there's any problems, should be decided by December 1st.
So let's have the clerk help us write the motion. It'd be something like, I move to extend the moratorium for wind turbines.
for the construction.
Should move to institute a moratorium.
There you go.
You're not extending it because you guys have.
Are you ready, you couldn't stop going?
Institute a moratorium.
For,
Wind energy conversion systems in Shiawassee
until
County until,
December 1st, 2019, or
no,
until.
2018, or
Yeah.
if the,
Until the referendum is set.
until the referendum is settled.
I would say resolved instead of settled.
You can make it
Does that
2019.
void the referendum that's in there now?
Yeah.
Huh?
2020? Did you say until 12/1/18?
Yeah, I'm thinking December 1st. Is that enough time?
We can always extend it again.
That's 15th? I mean, you never have this go till January. It always gets settled by January 1st, so.
If it's on the November ballot, and then we canvass immediately after, once it's
And then there's
canvassed
a
and it's
recount.
certified, it's a certified election.
Yeah, but then there's a recount.
He's saying in the instance that there could potentially be some sort of.
I mean, I've been almost up to Christmas working on recounts, so that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to extend it into the next commission.
Well, in
Well, it
addition,
can't. It has to, it should be decided by.
January 1st is too late.
in addition, another reason you may want the moratorium is because even if it passes, all it does is strike down the old one. You can pass a new one. And it doesn't even have to be that much. less
So I would say December
restrictive.
31st, 2018.
Until 12/31/18.
Yep.
And then-
Just to be on the safe side, and then,
Fair.
I'm all confused what's going on.
We're extending the moratorium for the windmills.
Instituting.
so because somebody's out collecting signatures, and they filed an intent to overturn what we did. It nulls and
And knows
nullifies,
all his, when he's doing that?
nullifies what we did. So technically, a wind energy company could come in under our old ordinance that allowed windmills up to 600 foot.
So
The
it's
variance.
1,200 foot from the residence on property line.
Yeah.
They would first have to request a use permit, which I don't think would pass while this was pending. Who would pass it?
Well, we're not gonna.
Everyone is fair.
Yeah, well,
You
we're
won't
not
take that commission. Just-
You think your board members gonna change their mind?
They might be bullied into doing something they didn't want to do. or whatever.
I've seen that.
So after, until 12/31/18, you guys started chattering some.
Or unless it's resolved earlier,
Okay.
because, there's not enough signatures, or.
Yeah, you just have to put or until otherwise resolved.
And would you please repeat that, Madam Clerk?
To move to institute a moratorium, this is Commissioner Marks, is to move to institute a moratorium for the wind energy
Conversion.
conversion in Shiawassee County until 12/31/18, or unless it's otherwise resolved.
Something's missing.
You could
Wind
make
energy
it
conversion
until
systems.
further action of the board. Just do a moratorium until further action of the board. If he doesn't get enough signatures, you can reinstate it. If he does, then you can wait till the election and wait and see what happens there.
Until further action of the board?
Yeah, so they institute a moratorium until the board does something else.
It's a perpetual moratorium.
Who seconds that?
Support.
Discussion. Any more discussion?
just, well, as long as we're just pushing it through the final vote, it doesn't come till later, just scrutinize that wording really
All right.
careful, would you please?
All right.
We have to,
Something feels like we're missing something here, like the construction of. or
probably need to go
something.
look at, we probably need to go back and look at our original moratorium, and take some of that language out of it.
Yeah.
But for purposes of moving it forward, so we can,
Reword it out.
you know. So, motion, support, discussion, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Any other agenda items from anybody? Last call to the public.
Gene Roos, Woodbury Township, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anything
Say your
else?
address, what's your address?
Yeah, I told you last meeting, you remember that?
40, what, Mason Road?
8261 Mason Road.
Do you have wild asparagus there?
I actually stopped
Okay.
the neighbors from stealing.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
You got it.
Okay. I'm assuming Brock is saying support. Meeting adjourned.
Support.
See, we had a lot covered. Questions?
Finance Administration meeting to order. Everybody would rise for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Call to the public. Does anyone in the public have anything at this time?
Thank you.
See you later. Thanks. Call to the public, first time. No. Move right into the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to authorize the coordinator to seek qualified candidates for the position of finance director at salary grade 11, salary range of $60,590 to $68,478 to fill a vacancy. So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
How are things going? I was gone last week, so. things are-
Well, they're going, but we. Mike?
Well, we kind of got to get on with this, because partly too, the person isn't going to come in here ready to go. There's a lot to learn. We are, you guys, I believe, 2 or 3 months ago, passed a schedule for budgeting that we haven't even started yet, and we're about 2 months into it. We're gonna, you know, this pay rate, I hope there's some flexibility later, but I hope we can get somebody. The big thing is, we're probably not gonna get somebody with a track record, work history. Hopefully we get somebody with the qualifications, and if they don't work out, of course, that's bad, we suffer for it. If they do work out, depending on what they're paid, they just move on, if they work out. But I think we can hopefully find somebody qualified at this range, and, but we gotta start training. And I'll be trained too, but we don't wanna have to do it again. And we're paying a lot of money right now for SK&T, and they don't do everything. I mean, I'm the one authorizing vendor vouchers. And, you know, these line items, our finance specialists up front are using numbers they were given before, but those aren't always verifiable. We need to get our own systems going, and we need to, it's not up on this month's agenda, but we still have the SK&T systems analysis that is in draft form, which really needs to be looked at.
Yeah, I think that needs to be looked at, really. I mean, I know there's a need for this, but I mean, we gotta look at that before, because there's a lot of needs that need to be addressed.
Yes, but
And
even
some money needs to go towards addressing those needs immediate, rather than this right now. If we're getting by with the accountants right now, I mean, nothing against a candidate that could come in and know, but I mean, Shiawassee County's not an up-to-date, you know, come in off the road and understand the processes. I mean, that's why we have a process review that's showing the breakdowns. So no matter who we hire, they're not gonna be up to speed for a long time. And then just letting SK&T walk out the door, or try to help train these people a little bit, is not gonna be the Band-Aid we want for this.
Certainly, Commissioner, I'm not suggesting that SK&T is gonna walk out the door.
Well, they're gonna want to. I mean, they've got clients, they've got business. I mean, we're adding burden to them.
Well, it's not gonna be any better if
I
we don't
mean,
have. So at least while they're here, we get some training.
But I mean, they're at least familiar with how confusing and out of date our processes are. At least they've figured them out, they've honed in, they understand it. Sure, it's costing a little right now, but I mean, we're paying for quality service.
If we get a finance director in on the ground floor, it'll be a lot easier down the road than waiting until they are done and hire one.
But I think we do need to, nothing against you, Mike, but I do think you need to pick it up in some of the finance department too. I mean, I mean, when I'm hearing from people that our coordinator won't sign off on bills, won't sign off on vouchers, won't sign off on anything, I mean, what are we putting you in there for if you're not gonna take any responsibility? We've gotta have you have some ownership to this stuff.
Commissioner, I had signed off on every one they brought.
I know, once you were told by SK&T that you had to do it, because you are the only administrator left.
Commissioner,
There's no one left.
They never told me I had to do it.
Mike, I've met with everyone in the office. I've talked to everyone. I've talked to SK&T.
Commissioner, they never told me I had to do it.
I've talked with the girls in the front. I mean, I've had these discussions about what goes on in the office and what exactly is being done here, and it's not really shining the best light on the problems that we're having right now, so.
I was reluctant to sign them, there's no question, because I can't verify the numbers. But nevertheless, SK&T wouldn't sign them either, so when they wouldn't sign them, yes, I signed them. I was told by SK&T to sign.
But
I
just would like to see, you know, you've gotta get in and you've gotta get involved in it. And I know you've done good, I'm not taking away from anything you've done. I just think there's some things we've gotta hit the ground running on, and we've gotta really start taking initiative, because, you know, we're not gonna put a finance director, just dump everything on a finance director that doesn't really have the knowledge or the understanding.
I think we need to have I'm not saying nothing about anybody, I think our finance committee needs to meet just a little bit more often and try to
I think
address.
so, yeah, I think we need to be involved in this,
You know what I mean? I think
seeking of
that's what I was
candidates.
calling a week or so ago, and Dan was sick, and we've had some other issues. I'm not, nothing
The
against
problem is
anybody,
a month is too long.
but we gotta start having more frequent finance committee meetings.
If nothing else.
To be able to help make some of these decisions that shouldn't all be put on, you know, one person. We got, you know, it's us that has to make some of these decisions.
I guess
Well, yeah, but we've still, I mean, the reason we put a coordinator on is so that we had somebody that was here for the day-to-day that could act in these roles when we couldn't be here, when we weren't available. so that we didn't have to be here every day. I spent almost every day in 2017 here, and I'm telling you, I don't want to have to do that again. And we alleviated that stress by bringing in a coordinator, and I've not seen any difference in my role. I've not seen any difference in any other commissioners' roles as far as what they're doing and how involved they are and how we're still getting the calls. We're still handling the situations, which I'm not saying we shouldn't have to do, but I mean, there's some day-to-day stuff that we're not gonna have the understanding on. We're not gonna see it, we're not gonna know it. I mean, I know more than I probably wanna know on some of this stuff and finances and figuring out what goes where and how we got where we're at in some things. But it's like, I mean, I think the process review has to come first. We need to be down that road. The finance committee needs to get together. I've been working with Commissioner Marks, Commissioner McMaster's on a review process for the phishing scam, for things we've had there, the timeline of events that went on in that. I mean, we just got, there's a lot of questions I think that need to be answered as far as to what went on, and what's still going on or not going on. And it's been frustrating, but I'll tell you one thing, and I don't want to turn this into an attack, but I mean, if our county coordinator is meeting with other elected officials or members of other municipalities and bad-mouthing the commissioners that sit here, I'm not gonna have it. I mean, you know, when we're dealing with the city of Corona and the commissioners are told they don't know what they're doing, and that's being relayed to the people we're trying to do business with, and if we're doing that with somebody that's supposed to be representing us on our behalf, we don't know what we're doing. We're in a bad feud with the city of Corona right now. We don't have time for us to be looked at as we don't know what we're doing, or to be ridiculed that we're just doing it, you know?
That hasn't happened, Commissioner.
There are calls to MERS that have been put in, employees have concerns with MERS, and they were told, the commissioners aren't taking this serious, they don't really care.
I have not talked to MERS since Patty was still here.
And I again, I don't wanna turn this into an attack, it is, because I'm very upset, and it just continues to go on and on
Well,
and on and
then,
on.
if you hear things like that, you should bring them to me, because I have never done that.
Because I don't think anybody that represents this board should be talking to people we do business with
That's
in that
correct.
type of manner.
I agree with that, and I don't.
So, to my face, you're gonna tell me you've said nothing bad about anyone sitting at this table,
I have not.
to people we've done business with.
I have not.
Then from there on, I'll take your word for it, but
Thank you.
I don't wanna hear any more further going on. We'll go to this motion, if anybody has anything further.
Can I say something?
Yes.
When you guys are talking about the finance committee meeting, I have wanted to reach out, but have had my own busyness with the elections. Just something you should maybe think about is meeting with the department heads and elected officials to maybe see where things have not happened or have happened with our budgets. I think it would help you be enlightened with some situations.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And let's make sure if they have budget recommendations or whatever. we
Well,
make
you
sure-
know, and I apologize for going off on a tangent here, but I take enough phone calls and enough grief and enough writing in the papers and enough badgering to then hear it from our own inside just really, really bugs me, and I don't wanna I tried not to, but it just, things are,
So if we do, okay, well,
we're going to this motion now.
Okay.
It's been moved and supported to authorize the county coordinator. I think the finance committee should sit in on this as well, or at least two of us.
I'd like to see, maybe let's use Mac a little bit to.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too.
That would be included. This is just to start the process of seeking candidates. This isn't selecting one.
All right. Commissioner McMaster, Commissioner Marks, got anything to add, or?
no, so.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Move on. Yes, Commissioner
I just
Holzhausen.
have a little question. Have we done anything about anybody sending emails and running out like Pat did? Have we corrected anything like that?
That's part of
for
the
people?
process review that I'm trying to get out to everybody right now. We have it, it's back. But that's why I was saying, we need to get that in front of the commissioners so you guys can see and kind of get an understanding of what's really been going on. And some of the, that's actually something they addressed in the process review, is that wire transfers don't have as many, hoops to jump through to get them done. One person is capable of doing them, whereas suppose we need processes that add those extra steps of security that make sure you've done this, then you gotta do B, then you gotta do C, then you gotta do D before it actually goes out, and they've identified that we don't do that, so.
I mean, that was my concern a little bit, so.
Yeah, all right, so we'll move to agenda item 5. Entertain a motion to consider authorizing building ground superintendent to retain up to 5 part-time employees under an at-will group contract at $11 per hour without benefits, with any work from 0 to 25 hours per week per employee to be assigned at the discretion of the superintendent. Work may include cutting grass, weeding, and other groundskeeping, as well as exterior and interior cleaning and janitorial duties as may be authorized by the Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
For motion, support, discussion, yes, for God's sake, if we're gonna get more people, could we clean up the district court parking lot? Have you seen it?
I haven't been.
Oh my God, there's thistles that are this tall, there's trees growing in there that are weeds. I mean, people are coming to the county buildings and they gotta see that. All our mulch is weeds through it.
Well, I understand that, but I need the people to be able to do something about it.
I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing to see. Well, wait, we've got 4 individuals that work in this department right now. And no one can, I'm sorry, I'm in a horrible mood with all
No,
this is terrible.
Mr. Chair, if I could put in
Yes,
here.
go ahead.
Obviously, there's outside stuff, but the inside stuff, I hear from some people that, yes, cleaning is going very well. Then I hear from other people, that I'm talking about inside janitorial services.
Yeah.
Then I get walked through a building and shown how the carpet is filthy, it never gets vacuumed, and there's cobwebs in the stairwell, but then there's other times I'm over at the courthouse and it's being cleaned all the time, so we need to figure out where things are going well, where things are not going well, or spite discussion we need to have with department heads. Because it seems like some people are happy with the cleaning that's going on, other people aren't. And it varies from building to building and stuff.
Well, I've identified an area. Parking lot, district court, Capitan.
I know, but I'm talking about
It's
like,
embarrassing.
I know, but I'm talking
It's
about
up to,
like,
it's past my knees if you walk, that's mulch. That's a mulch, bed of mulch.
I know, but we also, there's also issues.
Yeah,
with-
there is, okay, all right,
Well,
so,
Can we get any service crews now, Robert?
we might have.
You know, okay, for example, when I see salt on a carpet, when was the last time salt would have been dragged into a building to be on a carpet?
Yeah, that's
It's July.
a good question. It's a good question.
But then you go over to the courthouse and, I don't wanna say this
People are
stuff,
just throwing it at each other, apparently.
stuff sparkles, but there's some very clean, as well it should be, because it's our courthouse, it's a historic building, it's pretty, but we need to get a handle on, because we've heard this at leadership, I've been taking on tours.
Yes.
I'd like to hear from Tim how, if we approve this, how this is gonna be utilized. If you will,
Well-
please.
If it's approved, I'm hoping to at least get like at least 2 people at about 20 hours or 25 hours a week that are able to, maybe I can put a person to spend 20 hours at district court doing whatever. Right now, I have Lou who's doing most of the cleaning. She's got a schedule. She has to be at different places at different times. And there's just too much to do. I mean, even with the stuff, you talk about district court parking lot, I could utilize them to pull weeds, to get some mulch in there, do whatever. Lately, we've had some issues with different things that we've been working on, and there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
Or enough people.
So right now you have 2 part-timers and they mainly.
They're
they
mainly doing,
been-
right now, they're mainly doing the mowing in the parks and stuff. I mean, if it slows down a little bit more, I'll put them right over to district court and have them do the cleaning up there.
And maintaining the
Get
parks
some
right
lawn.
now, do you feel they're?
Oh, the
keeping
parks,
up?
I've heard nothing but good about the parks this year. They have been mowed on a regular basis, they're being kept up. Everybody that I've talked to is real happy with the parks. Now, if you go over to district court, everybody I talk about, what I've heard lately, and I haven't heard, they haven't, like, a lot of people haven't called me, I think they've talked to Mike maybe more. But when they talk to me, usually it's an email that something's wrong, and I send somebody over to fix it at that point in time. Now, The judge made mention, one of the judges made mention, something about doing some cleanup around district court for the beds and stuff, and possibly the cap can. I will, if I can get somebody Toro free long enough, but that's the problem, it's just finding.
So I was here when things were really tough, they only had 2 buildings in ground, I mean, I'm not comparing to that, and we had volunteers that actually come and did that, because I actually did, you know, things like that. I come in here several times in the winter time and back.
You're sweeping all the time.
And I'm back in this.
Vacuuming and dancing at the same time.
Huh?
Vacuuming and dancing at the same time, but.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's the
And
thing.
when I was over in the Hodger building, I vacuumed, I had to shovel snow, we took care of our own places. And we had to because there was nobody there. We just had to. Not that we don't need those people, but when they say everything's gotta be perfect, you gotta do a little bit your own. And this report, and everybody's gotta do a little, dig in a little bit themselves and do something.
So you basically have yourself, you have your two guys that are doing maintenance most of the time, they're doing repairs.
usually most of the maintenance.
And you got Lou that's cleaning, which is not enough for her to go around.
Right.
And you have 2 part-time guys,
And
and
they're
this would
mainly-
be 5 guys, this would be a total of 5, it's not 5 additional, it'd be up to 3 additional.
Well,
Correct?
possibly, I think we probably get away with like, my thought was, if I can put 2 people to doing most of the cleaning and maybe doing some of the, little bit of the yard work, like you said, cleaning, put some mulch down. I'm not, that would probably be good. I think what the 5 was is so that, like, say that we have a list that I can call for people. Not necessarily that I would use them all, but let's say someone couldn't make it, then I can call somebody else in to come do a little bit of work. They just be part-time.
So more so like what the sheriff's doing.
Exactly.
With the security.
Exactly.
And I should point out that this particular item by itself does not increase anything unless the commissioners do want to increase hours available to do items like the cleaning and stuff like that. By itself, all this does is let him retain up to 5 that he can call in somebody, you know, at $11 an hour, from time to time, you got somebody that stops coming in. Things like that happen. It just gives him a.
Or you may have somebody who says, I only wanna mow grass.
Right.
Right.
So when it's heavy in the spring or heavy in the fall, you call him in to mow grass, or somebody that wants to do some flowers or
Cleaning or something.
bed cleaning or
Right.
whatever.
Or he hires somebody else.
Right.
And doesn't use that person.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Yep, no problem.
All those in favor of this, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion moves forward. Wednesday, agenda item 6. I entertain a motion to authorize the payment of the annual premium for the county's comprehensive casualty and liability coverage for the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority in the amount of $378,393. This amount includes a fixed premium of $300,708, which is 1% less than 2017. It also includes a stop-loss coverage premium of $17,685 and a loss fund deposit of $60,000.
So moved.
Motion second, discussion. Everybody got it? Get it?
We just gotta pay up.
We gotta pay up, yeah.
Pay up and
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries on. Wednesday, agenda item 7, entertain a motion to consider authorizing the purchase of Fortinet firewall from Gov Connection in the amount of $7,243.36. Renewal will be approximately $2,200 to be paid from account number 258-801-002 for the countywide firewall to accommodate the United States Federal Information Processing Standards.
moved.
Second, motion second, discussion.
Excuse me, on the account number, I want to make sure you are reading 258-804-002.
What'd I say?
801.
Yeah, 804.
Okay.
Yes, 804. Sorry about that, thank you. All right, any other discussion? Jackie's not here.
Is that gonna keep some of the scamming out, I hope, when the emails come through, or what's it, is that what that's
This
for?
was something different.
this has to do with the, we got another expense coming on this lien audits.
Yeah, this was for the.
Yes, this has to do with that, the lien access by the courts and the sheriff's department, prosecutor's office, there's a whole protocol. It's discussed in that letter, and she can be here if you want to discuss it further, but we got proposals to consider for this independent audit that's coming too. But the firewall she has right now needs to be upgraded. And like she's pointing out there, if you're gonna upgrade hers, well, she describes it in the letter. I think the letter's in your package. It's far more expensive for her to continue to upgrade hers than to just get another one. It's not that it's cheap either way.
Yeah, all right. Anything else? We're gonna have Jackie attend Wednesday if we need any other questions answered. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Moves on Wednesday. Any other agenda items at this time for the Finance Committee? Hearing none, we'll move to the second call to the public. The public has anything? If not, we're adjourned. Thank you.
We didn't say something again.
Jeremy needs to go have a drink or relax.